Hello and welcome back to our life beginnings in all ways. It's weird saying that. It's weird hearing that come out of my voice. As you can see, I have now unlocked all the DLC moments. I hadn't bought the DLC yet. How embarrassing. Like, I thought that I had because I looked at it, but I think I had just thought about it, and I was like, I'll do that before I actually play Our Life, and then I didn't. But now I did, and I have all the DLCs I want. The DLC for this game is very cheap. The base game is free to play, so it is more than worth it to spend the money on this. But we are going to do this in a way. You know, I forgot that Sleepover was the last one of these. Huh. That doesn't feel like it was that significant. The next two stages end in moments that are very significant to the story overall. Maybe it's significant to the story. But anyway, I'm not going to do them left to right, top to bottom. I'm going to do this. I have a D10 in my hands. We're going to roll. We got 5. We're going to do Fireflies. You would not believe your eyes if 10 million fireflies lit up the walls as I fell asleep. Alright, tonight we're going to catch fireflies. It's Elizabeth. Elizabeth Foster. Yeah, I like this character, okay? She is a brat, but she's fantastic. This blunt declaration from your sister, you looked up from your macaroni and cheese dinner. Fireflies were a familiar sight over summer, coming out on warm nights to dance through the sky. Tonight was particularly balmy, and you knew there were bound to be a ton of them around. Oh, you are you? Yeah. You started eating faster, you looked over at your mom's, you pushed your food around your plate. You started eating faster. A grin curved to your lips as you started to eat a bit faster, excited for what was to come. It seemed like you were too excited, however, as you quickly started to choke and cough on your food from shoveling it down so quickly. Mommy reached over to pat you on the back, firmly helping you to dislodge the noodles and enable you to breathe again. So there's something about this. They baby you a little bit. You're 8 years old in this, right? I feel like an 8-year-old can still pretty much take care of themselves. And they act like you're a lot younger. And some of these, you'll see what I'm talking about. You took a big gulp of water from your glass. I'm actually almost out of a big gulp of water from my glass. Shoot. Giving your mom a sheepish look. Oops. That's a good idea, Lizzie. Can we, Mrs. Foster? Shiloh tapped his fork against the table excitedly, his face lighting up as he looked at Lizzie. It was unusual for Shiloh to still be here. Like always, his mom had to bring him over really early in the morning before her job started. But normally she would have picked him up by now. She called before dinner to let your moms know she'd be late. You didn't hear why, probably more work things. You thought maybe getting to hang with Shiloh for longer is what made Lizzie want to keep running around outside. Staying at home and watching TV was never an option for her with guests over. That's why we were pretty sure she'd get your moms to agree.
Well...
It's already dark. It's so dark out there. Lizzie gave Mom the best puppy dog eyes she could, slowly spooning mac and cheese into her mouth while you waited there for the response.
There.
Let them go. Nights like this don't happen every day. Your parents exchanged a look, then Mom eventually sighed and nodded back. In case you don't know, Mom is the responsible parent. This is not the responsible parent. Yes! Along with Lizzie's cheers, you threw your arms up in triumph, but waited until you finished chewing to say anything because you knew it was rude to talk with your mouth full.
Fine. Just
make sure you stay on the hill behind our house with all the poppies, okay?
Duh.
Mom, that's where most of them are? The idea had only just been planted in your head, but already you could just picture all the glowing lights spread out in front of you, like the fairies from the bedtime stories Mommy had read sometimes. All too quickly, it became a race to see who could finish their food first. No choking at the dinner table now. That's right, if someone died, we'd have to cancel the Firefly trip after all. Her grin, to this day, terrifies me. I think it's the big round glasses that make her eyes look bigger than they are, and then she's got that grin all the time. Mom said it was like it was a joke, but you knew that they were both telling you kids to slow down. So like, I don't know. Sorry if I read fast. I just tend to read fast. So let's take a good look at our house here. We've got the 8 chairs at the little table. That's not a very big table. I've always thought that. It's such a... It does not... It looks modern but boring to me. You can see the ocean from their house. Wow, that's cool. Shiloh did immediately. When you glanced at Lizzie, you saw her still eating faster than she should. Elizabeth?
Jeez.
No one's gonna die. Sheesh. A knock on the door interrupted Mom before she could no doubt scold your sister. I'll get it. Your big sister jumped out of her seat and ran over the door, pulling it out, opening it, and looking at the window to see who it was. So I'm pretty sure there's a way to, I don't know. I'll have to ask Sarah how to do it. There's a way to remove the text box so you have just the background, and I want to be able to do that. You shifted in your seat to try to get a glimpse of the unexpected guest. I wonder what Otto does. Well, that's just the history. Huh. I don't know. I will try to figure it out, because I'd like to have that for pictures. Maybe there's a... Let's see. Animation can be turned off? Stop after choices. No, this is all there is for config. Okay. I should have known that. Oh well.
Hi.
Good evening, Cove. Your mommy had already walked to the door by the time you managed to see past Shiloh's floppy hat. Cove, what are you doing here? In an instant, you hopped out of your seat and ran over, a wide grin on your face. Cove returned it with a small one of his own. It's the bean. It's our little bean. Bouncing up and down in the balls of your feet excitedly, he tugged on Mommy's sleeve, hoping she'd ask him to stay. It didn't matter why he was there, it meant he could join you all in catching fireflies. Then for a few seconds, Cove said nothing. He only stood there and looked up at your mommy with a face almost like he was considering turning around and leaving. See, we like Cove. Cove is this cool new kid in our neighborhood that we want to hang out with, who's like our friend and stuff. My dad told me to drop this off because I guess he borrowed it from you. Cove took a familiar screwdriver from out of his large side pocket, eyes now dropped to the floor. We left ours back home when we moved. Great, thanks, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here, why don't you come inside for a bit? Lizzie crossed her arms and lifted her chin. Cove shrugged and Mom stood up from the table, too. Remember, Lizzie doesn't get along real with Cove. I'll give your dad a call to let him know you got here alright. Cove shuffled fully inside, eyes remaining on the ground. Mommy closed the door behind him. I wish I could remember what this condition is called. It's a special health condition that he has, where you have that all over your body. Also, the gray eyes are kind of scary.
Hi.
Shiloh gave Cove a friendly smile while waving by holding up his hand and opening and closing his fingers. Cove nodded in response. Cove, are you going to catch fireflies with us? You could come outside with us if you want to. You weren't sure? Yeah, Cove, are you going to catch fireflies with us? You could see Lizzie eyeing you for mentioning the excursion to the outside of her. She'd get over it. It's a lot of fun. Cove grinned at that, and you knew he was intrigued.
Yeah.
I can do that. I've never caught one before. It's too bad he didn't have a chance before now. The fireflies weren't out when he first moved in, and there must not have been any where he used to live. We can't go until after dinner. As she pointed this out, Lizzie walked back to the table and took her seat. There wasn't much left on her plate. I wish you could see the kitchen. You never get to see beyond this little space. Since this was very true, you decided to finish up your own stuff as well. Cove stepped closer and I was on the menu for your family's meal. Haven't you eaten yet? Yeah, my dad and I ate earlier. What'd you have? Eggs. The clipped one-word answer seemed to discourage Shiloh from asking any more questions. His eyes slowly wandered back to the last scraps of food in his plate. You know, Mr. Holden's doing his best as a single dad, okay? Her phone call with Cove's dad must have ended as your mom came back into the room. I'm still trying to decide if these people are I think they're upper middle class is how I would describe these families.
Okay.
Cove, your dad said you can stay for a little while if you'd like, but he's gonna come get you before it gets too much later. Sure.
Fun.
Oh, fun. This will be so nice. As you polished off the meal, you hoped it would be too. The three of you all finished eating shortly after, and Lizzie led the way outside. Remember, don't stray too far. It's fine, Mom. Shiloh trailed closely after Lizzie. He was nearly stepping on her heels. Cove hesitated at the door. Come on, let's go! After a moment, he did.
Bye.
Children. Oh, it's the outside of the house, yeah. You can see in. Interesting. I wonder where's where on here. The two of you were a good 10 or 15 feet behind Lizzie and Shiloh by the time you walked outside. You pushed the door shut behind you, watching their figures get farther and farther away. Yeah, this must be the main room here, right? So these must be bedrooms? Maybe this is our room? I don't know. No, our room's on... You're so slow, Marina. We don't have all night. You started to run when you heard Lizzie's voice calling you, but paused when you saw Cove was still walking at a relaxed pace. Are you not gonna come? You took him along, you walked with him. You waved at him to hurry, you ran off. You walked with him. You fell behind, sidling up next to him and matching his stride. He noticed right away.
It's okay.
You can go ahead if you want. Nah. After a short while, the two of you reached the hill behind the house. See, I wish I could just turn this off. I gotta ask how to do that. The fireflies are out in full force, floating around the breeze, their gentle glow winking in and out of the creating almost magical effect. This music is so whimsical! It's whimsical! Lizzie had already climbed to the top. Shiloh was spinning in circles somewhere around in the middle.
Wow.
Shiloh took a moment to come over and welcome both of you to the hill.
Hi guys, it's really great out, huh? See how many there are?
Yeah. A firefly danced through the air, landing in Cove's sea green head. Shiloh couldn't help but giggle. You and Shiloh couldn't help but giggle. You quietly looked on. You shoot the bug away. No. It's weird that they tell you what Shiloh was doing there. That's weird. Covering your mouth with a hand, the sound escaped you, and Cove looked at you in confusion. What? You gestured to his head, and you reached up, making the firefly dart away. Cove jumped, then followed after the glow.
Oh.
Look, Lizzie has one. That's amazing.
Shiloh ran up to the highest point of the hill, making sure not to lose his hat or backpack along the way. You hummed as the group divided and conquered, shifting your gaze to the dozens of other fireflies sailing around. The game was on. You had the bandage on your thumb. You tried to be cautious of that. You had a bandage on your palm, and you tried to be cautious of that. You had two bandages in your hand, you tried to be cautious of that. You were good at not getting cuts or scratches, so you weren't too worried about that. I like how this can define you as a kid, but we're definitely this kid. Just saying. We're definitely this kid. Spotting one close by, you approached with assassin-like stealth, crouching down to make yourself seem less of a threat. Slowly dragging one foot in front of the other, you crept up toward it, arms outstretched. You closed your hands around the low glowing orb, careful not to crush it. The firefly landed on your palm, almost docile, and you stared down at your prize in delight. Its tiny legs tickled your skin, and you giggled at the sensation. Cove kept up with his own target, but when he tried to grab it, its pink cast waved awkwardly through the air, foiling his efforts to clap his hands around the firefly. Is that how you say that? Cove watched it vanish into thin air with a dissatisfied expression on his face. You encouraged him to try again. You told him about the firefly you had. You made a joke about what had happened. You did your own things. You encouraged him to try again.
There are plenty more fireflies. You can try again. Did you catch one?
You nodded, and Cove gave up his hunt for the moment, coming closer and peering at the insects still crawling across your palm. You held out your hand and he leaned closer, eyes widening a tad behind his glasses. Cove remained hypnotized by the little bug as he inched his hand closer to yours. Ultimately, he settled his fingers lightly over the top of the ones you were holding open. It tingled. You stayed very still. You pulled your hand back. You stayed very still. I mean, we want Cove to be able to see the firefly, right? The last thing you wanted was to accidentally scare the shiny treasure off. Exactly. Oh wow, yeah, it draws your hand the way that it would be. All the stuff you described earlier, the shell necklace, the shell bracelet, and the band-aids. Oh my god. The firefly, noticing the new connection, crawled up onto Cove's hand. He quietly gasped. Cove's got a big hand. I mean, I guess I got a small hand maybe, but Cove's got a big... This is like an adult man's hand. Why is Cove's hand so big? And his nails so polished? It worked.
Yeah, you got one.
Cove's lips turned up into a slow smile and his eyes shined brighter than the little bug.
Thanks, Marina.
With a laugh, he gave the palm of your hand a friendly smack, performing an awkward low five. Startled by the extreme movement, the tiny light disappeared before you could even blink. Your Firefly was gone.
Sorry.
You scolded him, you forgave him, you teared up. You get sad! You forgave him.
That's okay, I couldn't keep it forever.
You're right.
Right, bugs have to stay outside. Let's get another.
You decided to collect more, you decided to sit in the grass and watch. Let's collect more.
Uh-huh, we can work together.
His face broke out in a wide grin. Oh my god, look at how happy the little bean is! I love his eyebrows too. I love Cove's naturally wavy eyebrows. Like, he doesn't have to do anything to maintain that, man.
We'll get a bunch.
With renewed vigor, you ran out into the hill. You're not sure how much time had passed, but you were in the thick of it all. All you could focus on was the adventure in hand. No critter was safe from your grasp. At first, you tried to keep a tally of how many you'd caught, but once the number grew higher than 10, you had no more fingers left to count with. You were having the time of your life, racing up and down the hill with the crash of the ocean and the sound of everyone's laughter echoing in the background. I love this hill! I love this frickin' hill! You can live here! With the ocean in your backyard.
Marina, this way!
You followed the sound of Cove's voice to the top of the hill, watching as he stretched his arms in front of him, reaching with his fingers and only narrowly missing his target. Cove and you took turns trying to scare the Fireflies in the direction of the other. You showed him some techniques you had learned, like how to cup your hands correctly. He listened attentively before trying for himself. There were a few times when you almost ran into each other, giggling as you dove to the side at the last moment. Luckily, disaster was avoided each time. It was an overall huge success with the both of you catching multiple Fireflies each. Eventually, the Fireflies began to thin out and your energy started to lapse. You decided it was time to call off the hunt. Cove didn't complain. He breathed in heavily and his face seemed really flushed. It's so weird seeing Cove be happy. It's so weird. I'm used to him being like this little anxiety bean the whole time. Who's not happy about anything.
That was fun. A lot of fun.
He smiled at him broadly, happy that he had enjoyed the activity.
Yeah, it was.
Come on!
Marina, Cove, get up here. We're gonna have a race.
The shouting caught you off guard. It had been quite a while since you heard from Lizzie or Shiloh. You glanced over at them standing at the top of the hill, Lizzie beckoning you with her quick hand gestures. If she was like that, you knew this wasn't much room for disagreement. Up the incline you went. From the corner of your eye, you saw Cove was coming as well. He didn't care for Lizzie a lot, so you thought he might be intrigued just by the idea of a race.
Hi.
Cove.
Cove, you can't roll down the hill. You could hurt your arm again. You'll be the referee for the rest of us.
As Lizzie pointed this out, Cove froze in place. It was that kind of race. He frowned down at his cast. This is the second time he got in the way tonight.
What? Yeah, you'll watch to see who gets to the bottom first. That's important. Got it?
I guess.
The cast was sturdy. If he was careful, he could have done it. Lizzie might have just been looking for a reason to make someone else the referee, but it was already decided. You got into position for the race. I'll stay with Cove, I'm gonna do something else. I got in position for the race, damn it. Marina's gonna win this? She's not gonna let her sister beat her. Or that nerd Shiloh, I'll tell you that. Satisfied with this, Lizzie moved to lay down and Shiloh did the same. Cove stood slightly to the side to get a better vantage point. It seemed like he was taking his newfound referee duties seriously.
Count down.
You quickly got into position as well, resting on your side in the grass or tucking your arms close to your chest.
3, 2, 1, go!
The three of you took off, letting gravity do the work and rolling at high speed towards the bottom. You squeezed your eyes shut, a delighted laugh leaving you, and consequently allowing a few blades of grass in your mouth. You sputtered, reaching up to wipe them away. It threw off your balance and sent you careening sideways. Everyone started too close together because the slight turn made you and then Shiloh and then Lizzie collide into a heap. You tumbled on the last 2 feet in a pile. Shiloh's elbow was in your stomach, and you were pretty sure Lizzie's hair was in your mouth, but you had survived. Perhaps it wouldn't have been safe for Cove after all. You could hear him laughing in the distance. When you opened your eyes, you saw the starry sky above and Cove still on top of the hill, staring down at the three of you with an amused look on his face.
Hey, cool crash. I think Shiloh was the first one at the bottom.
That didn't count.
That didn't count. We need a redo.
Kids, it's time to come in. You sighed, not knowing if it was contentment or exasperation, and closed your eyes again. It had gotten late and was beginning to feel just a bit chilly as you made your way out of the hills, but the cold in the air hadn't dampened anyone's spirits. The four of you walked back home together, side by side, in your neighborhood street. down your neighborhood street, discussing the evening, with each person trying to prove that they were the one who caught the most fireflies. You know that whoever really did catch the most, it didn't much matter anyway. All that matters is that you all had a good time, which, judging by the smiles on everyone's faces, you did. And that's that! A lot of these initial ones are really short. Some of them aren't. I don't think Runaway is short, for instance, and that one's probably not. And Barbecue's definitely not. These ones are probably pretty long. But yeah, that was Fireflies. We did it. We caught some Fireflies with our it's so weird seeing Cove be this excited kid. Be a kid. Instead of this little old man that he becomes. And he can be. I mean, oh man. But we'll see you next time for more Our Life. Hope you're enjoying this.